Hey guys, and welcome to part one of my August TBR, because she's a big one. She's a big one. Yeah. Hey guys, if you are new to my channel, welcome to the book path. I'm Nicole, and if you are not new, thanks for sticking with me on the path. And let's get started. So this month I decided to break up my August TBR into two videos. Why? Because I am participating in 6 book clubs / readathons for the month of August, and that's a lot. I think that is the most I have ever attempted in the past year since I've really started doing readathons, but some of them are continuations of readathons I've done before, and others are brand new and they were just too good to pass up on. So I thought that giving information on the readathons themselves and then going into the book load that will be August, that is by far the biggest, most ambitious TBR for myself. I thought I would break it up, and in part one, we will go over which book clubs I'm participating in, which readathons I'm participating in, give you a little bit of background on those, as well as 2 announcements about future content that I will be putting on this channel, which I'm excited about, and I hope you will be too. I do have to have notes for these TBRs because there's a lot, and that is not gonna be sticking in here completely. So yeah, we're gonna have notes. With that being said, for the first book club that I will be participating in the month of August is Cliterature Club. And Cliterature Club is a club that is run by Steph over at StephLoves. And it is basically kind of as it sounds. It is your clit lit, your romantic books, your erotic novels, your darker novels. It's everything from like your light kind of rom-com to your more darker twisted romances, alien romances, monster romances, supernatural romances, anything. If it's got romance in it, it will probably be mentioned at some point in this club. Steph started this, I think, this will be the 4th, August is the 4th month that this is going on, and I am super excited about her August, September, and October picks because all 3 of those books have been on my TBR that I just haven't been able to get to, so now I will be able to get them, and I'm excited, but those will be in part 2, so stay tuned for that. The readathon that I will be participating in first is Camp Spoopathon, and Camp Spoopathon will be from August 1st to August 7th, and it is run by Spoopyhol or Spoopyhol over on her channel, and I just started kind of watching her channel. I think it was in June for Whatever-thon. She was on one of the live sprints, and I just really liked her personality, so I went to check out her channel. And I know that she does, I think it's in October, the regular Spoopathon, which I think is kind of like your Spooky Reads Halloween vibe-ish readathon. I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to joining it. It'll be my first time joining it in October if she will host it then. But she decided to do a little mini week-long Camp Spoopathon in August, and it's kind of fun because you get to be a camper or a camp counselor, whatever have you, at Camp Spoopathon, and your goal is to survive. You have to make it along one of 2 paths from, I think it's Lake Death, back to your cabin and survive. However, on each of these paths, there is a serial killer on the loose. Your goal is to read through the prompts, achieve points, battle, duke it out with the serial killer, survive, and make it back to your cabin. What I love about this is that it doesn't have to be spooky. It doesn't have to be horror or things, because I'm not hugely into those genres, and I prefer to read those when it's in season, you know, and I prefer to read spooky books in spooky season. But the way that she has designed the prompts, you can take liberty with them. They are free to interpret. You don't have to read spooky books. You can read a romance, you can read an adventure, you can read a middle grade, as long as it fits the prompts. And her prompts are really, really easy, and some of them you can pretty much read whatever you want for them. And there are a few that I don't even think they have a book with them. So I will be participating in that, and we will see if I can read the books required to survive Camp Spoopathon. Towards the end of Camp Spoopathon, I am going to not be able to talk this whole video. On August 6th through 7th, Saturday and Sunday, towards the end of Camp Spoopathon, we will be getting into the final book support group. I finally get to wear my shirt for a video. I'm excited. I'm a big fan of the final book support group. Once again, this as well is hosted by Steph over at StephLoves. She started this one, I think, back in February or March, and its goal is just like it sounds. It is for those of us who start series, struggle to finish them, or continue them. So it's a support group to get her done and just finish these books, maybe start a new series. She will be having a 48-hour readathon, once again, August 6th and 7th. She is trying to encourage us to actually pick the final book in a series to see how many we can get in. But if you don't have a final book in the series, if you need to do her continuation station, which is continuing the series, or if you just picked up the brand new series or started a series, then that'll count too. I do have a book or two that are the final books in a series that I will need to get to, but once again, stay tuned for that in part 2. After those three, there are 3 more readathons that I will be participating in. They are month-long readathons for the month of August, and I'm excited. So the first of those is Magical Readathon, which is hosted over by G at BookRoast. This is the first readathon I had ever participated in at all. I started last September, I think, was her first part of this Orilium Magical Readathon, before I think she had done Harry Potter inspired ones, which I was kind of bummed I didn't get to take part in. But the Orilium one is amazing, amazing. She outdoes herself. There are handouts, there are stories that go along. She just is amazing at creating this whole world, the characters. It's fantastic. I can't say, enough good things about it. It's amazing. If you haven't started a readathon, join hers. Join any of the ones I'm joining. But if you're really into fantasy, if you're into like D&D adventure, this is the one for you. Though it started like a year ago and we've been going on, she's encouraging, if you're new, try it. You don't have to start at the beginning and work your way to where we are now. You can kind of cheat it a little bit. She's open for you to do that. She just wants you guys to have fun with it and go on. So back in September, we did the novice path, where you choose a character and you get them to the academy, to the magical academy, where they will be learning their magic. There were different classes. You got to basically pick your character. And I couldn't choose, so I ended up with 2, which probably wasn't the best idea, because now the amount of books that I've had to read for each character has slowly been increasing, and August is no different. But I love them both, and I've been having fun on the journey so far, so I'm going to continue with them. I'm going to break out my notes because I feel it is time to introduce my characters a little fit. So I have, my female character is Azraelyn Earthstone, and Azraelyn is from Eartheria. She's an earthling, which for me, she's very much like a dryad. She has earth elemental powers over nature, and she very kind of has that appearance of what you would think a dryad would look like. She grew up in Eartheria with her family, and when shortly after she was born, her family went into the woods. They were going around and they stumbled upon an elf baby, and that is my other character, which is Farron Earthstone. Like all in the elf culture that is part of this world, elf babies are abandoned, which is, you know, sad tear. So sad, and left to raise by others. And Farron is no different. He was left at birth in Eartheria in the forest, and Azraelyn's parents came upon him and adopted him into their family, and he was raised alongside Azraelyn. And though they are raised kind of with a sibling friendship bond, they are lovers. And Farron is very protective over Azraelyn because she is very pure, very sweet, caring. She's not naive, she's very smart, but she tries to believe in the goodness and light and everything. And Farron is a little bit more, I don't want to say like anti that. He believes in that too, but he knows, he's very much aware that, you know, as much as she wants to believe in the goodness, there can be people that are, or beings that are just not that nice. And so he protects her. He is her sword and shield, while she is more of the healer type. And they both successfully passed and made it to the academy last September, and they were separated. Azraelyn went on to join the Order of the Crescent, while Farron went into the Mindwalker Guild. And he wasn't that happy about it. However, every opportunity he meets, he takes, he will be with her. She does the same thing there. And they often will go out on missions and quests together because they are pretty much the perfect team. She is the healer and the nature bound, while he is the more warrior, and he has a lot of the abilities that come with the Mindwalker Guild. In, I think it was March, we had the little mini quest for our legacies and our weapons. And so on that quest, I was able to get Farron his sword, as well as get him the guild legacy of the astral plane, which I believe is able to walk in like the spirit realm or the dream realm. Either way, it's a very cool ability. Azraelyn was able to get her bow and arrow, once again keeping more with the nature and the hunter type of that. She doesn't really like to use it, but she'll use it if they need to get food, or if they are attacked, or she needs to defend when she doesn't use her earth powers. She also came across her wonderful familiar, which is a canid wolf. This is like a demon wolf that has 4 eyes and is amazing. So she will use this wolf, and she calls it Spirit, and it will come to her aid. It will come to Farron's aid and fight alongside them. It is big, so she can you know, use it also to carry things that, like for herbs and whatever she's trying to get in the forest. Spirit can also help pull that stuff or carry the load. Last spring, when we did the spring courses, both of them went on to get into their fields of study. Azraelyn is working on her herbology, and Farron is becoming a beastmaster. And that will bring us to the autumn equinox courses here. They have been fulfilling their roles, studying their classes, and now they need to fulfill the requirements to get those as careers. And I am hoping that I will be able to read everything get Azrael her job as an herbologist and Farron on his path to becoming a Beastmaster, where they can continue to team up and be rock stars. So I will be going over what the prompts are for that, because they run a little differently from her spring courses, and what books will pair with each prompt in part 2. The other readathon that I will be participating in, that is a month-long readathon, is my first time participating in the Trope-ical readathon, and that is also, like I said, a month-long readathon where you join a team based on a genre. There's like team sci-fi, team contemporary, I can't remember the other team names. There's a whole bunch of them, but I have decided to join up with team romance. Why? Because it's my thing right now, and I feel like over the past few months in the readathons I participated in, I just didn't get to dabble in fantasy romance as much as I would like, or just romance in general. So I'm feeling a little lull in that genre, and I need some more. I need some more. It's never enough. So I am on team romance, and I will be trying to complete both the common challenges and the 2 team challenges for that romance, for team romance, and we shall see if I can help them be victorious. The final book readathon that I will be doing in August is Polarthon over by Jade at Jadeyraereads. She normally does Polarthon in February, however, and it might be due to the overwhelming heat that the UK is going through right now. I think she's out there in the UK and temperatures are very hot there. So if you are in the UK, or if you're anywhere that's facing, just horrible amounts of heat right now. I know it's summer, and I know that there's, I'm in the US and there's fires going on out in California. If you guys are around any of that, stay safe. Try to stay in as much as you can from the heat. Remember to hydrate and just really take care of yourselves. Please, fall will be coming on soon, and hopefully the fires out in California can get contained. So, best of luck to everybody that's out there doing their part to keep everybody safe in the fires. And out there in the UK, like I said, just do what you can to take care of yourself and beat the heat. With that being said, Polarthon will be a month-long readathon, and what's great about this readathon for this time is she's having no prompts. 0, none, nada, not a thing. There's also not much of a competition going on for it. There's no teams to choose. It is really read whatever you want, enjoy what you want to read. She does have some prompts that she's made up if you are really wanting a challenge. I am not taking part in the prompts. I feel like I kind of got enough with the other readathons and book clubs. But what she is doing is, for every 100 pages that you read, or every hour listened to in an audiobook, you get a fish. And it's just kind of like a challenge yourself to go, how many books, how many pages can you do? Other people are taking more of a challenge, including the host herself, because this is going to kind of be a fundraiser for a charity of her choice, which is Polar Bears International, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Polar Bears International is, from my understanding, it's a foundation that tries to not only protect the polar bears and possibly the other wildlife that exists around, the colder regions, the Antarctic regions, but also tries to bring awareness in trying to live a greener life, doing your part to kind of protect the environment, and I can get behind that. So for Polarthon, she is asking people to make donations to Polar Bear International. Any of the merchandise that she has associated, she's made some really super cute bookmarks and t-shirts for Polarthon. Percentages of those proceeds will also go towards Polar Bear International, and she will be making a donation based upon either the page count that she reads or the books that she reads. She hasn't decided yet, but she will be letting everybody know that as August goes on. In honor of that, I will be making a pledge as well. I know that with times being what they are, economies being the way they are, and money being short everywhere, it won't be as much as I would like to do. And as a side note, please don't think that in order to participate in Polarthon, you have to make a donation. You absolutely do not. It is encouraged. If you can spare any, think about doing so. It's for a great cause. I myself will be pledging to read $1 per book that I complete in the month of August. Once again, I am challenging myself above and beyond any amount of books I have ever read before, so I will be doing that, and I might actually just, whatever I end up reading, round up to the nearest $5 or $10 mark. So if I read like 13 books or something like that, I might round up to either 15 or 20 just to, it's for a good cause. So I will be doing that. So that is all 6 book clubs and readathons that I will be a part of. But there will also be 2 other things coming your way for my channel. I thought about some certain things of what I could do to get more content for my channel. And one of the things that I saw other booktubers doing was their 20 before they turn 20 or their 30 before 30 book list. And being that August is also my birthday month, I decided to kind of tag along with that. I will be turning 39. Yeah. Anywho, so I decided to do the 40 books I want to read before I turn 40 this time next year. And these 40 books will be in a separate video I hope to get out in like another week or 2, probably within the second week of August, to have this list out there for your viewing pleasure. And these are 40 books that I have wanted to get to for years. And when I mean years, I mean like when I was a kid. These are books that my mom or my dad or somebody else in my family might have read that I was like, hey, that sounds good. And they were like, oh, you're too little to read this right now. And I was like, well, when I get older, I'm gonna read it. And I haven't. So there's a lot of books on there from my childhood that adults were reading. There's books that are some recent, more talked about books that I just haven't had a chance to pick up yet. So that will be its own video to come. The other thing about that list is that a lot of the 40 before 40 books have been made into adaptations, whether it be film or TV series, which feeds into the second thing that I will be starting, which is the Was It Better Than the Book series. And what I plan to do there is from the start of August on, any book that I read that has been turned into a movie or a television series or some sort of adaptation, I will be reading the book and then watching the film or the series and making a comparison and saying, was the book better? Was the show or the movie better? I always used to believe that the book was always better. And in recent years, there have been several films and series that have done better than the book ever did in my mind. Not that the books were bad, it's just they brought it to life in a way that was just so beyond the book. So I will be doing that. There are a couple books on the list. Spoiler alert, Jane Austen's on there. And there are quite a few adaptations of Jane Austen. So for a lot of those books, I will be either taking the most popular 2 or the 2 most recent adaptations and kind of comparing the book to both adaptations, seeing which one really brought the book to life in a way that I felt represented the book or the story or what the meaning was behind it the best. So lots of stuff coming your way. There are quite a few movie books in the month of August, or books that have been made into adaptations, series that will be starting. Lots of fun. It's going to be an adventure because, like I said again, it is the biggest book challenge for me to date. So yeah, stick around if you want to see what those books are and what prompts they will be filling for the readathons and book clubs that I just talked about with you guys. Once again, I can't talk. It'll be fun in the next video to see what I can bring about. we will get started on that. So yeah, stick around, and I hope to see you in part 2 of my August TBR. See ya.